On 15th May 2026, Pope Leo XIV gave to the world his first encyclical entitled Magnifica Humanitas, the grandeur of humanity. The date is significant because on this very day in 1891, Pope Leo XIII wrote his powerful encyclical in the context of the Industrial Revolution, Rerum Novarum, of all things new. In that he spoke about what's happening to the workers. They were being made a cog in the machine. He says while the Industrial Revolution was necessary, we should not forget that every worker is a human being created in the image and likeness of God. It is very symbolic that Pope Leo XIV took his name from Pope Leo XIII and also inspired by that powerful encyclical Rerum Novarum. On the 25th of May, when this new encyclical, Magnifica Humanitas, on safeguarding the human person in the time of artificial intelligence was released, Pope Leo XIV himself sat at the release. This is unprecedented. Never in the history of the Church has a Pope sat for the release of his encyclical, which is definitive, which is in a way a mandate given with papal authority to the entire Church and in fact the people of God. How do we understand this encyclical, Magnifica Humanitas? We need to see it in 5 interrelated dimensions. Pope Leo catechises us. He contextualizes this whole encyclicals in the reality of today. He cautions us. He throws out challenges, and ultimately he commits the Church and the world to a newer revolution. How does he catechize? Right from the beginning, he provides 2 choices for every single human being. Do you want to choose, he says, the Tower of Babel or the city of God? The Tower of Babel was when man thought he was more than God. They tried to make something uniform, tried to make a huge tower. There was uniformity and it was all about power. It was all about pride. It was all about profit. Or do we want to have a city of God? Nehemiah, after Jerusalem was destroyed, went back to the people, to a destroyed city. He encouraged people to build walls. He listened to them. He said we must participate together. He spoke about synodality, about collaboration, about building the kingdom of God here on earth. What do we want to choose? The Tower of Babel, the city of Babel, or the city of God, which Nehemiah so powerfully illustrates to us. Pope Leo then gets into the Catholic social teaching. Of course, beginning with Pope Leo XIII, he gets into the foundations and principles of Catholic social teaching. He speaks about the core principle, which are human dignity, the universal destination of goods, the common good, subsidiarity, solidarity, social justice, and integral development. He speaks about human rights, the way human rights are being violated today. And he says the gospel teaches us that everyone is created in human dignity, in the image and likeness of God. And these human rights, which belong to every single human being, are inviolable and are non-negotiable. He goes on and speaks in the 3rd chapter about technology, power, and the human person. And this is where he contextualizes the reality of today. He says artificial intelligence is perhaps needed. He's not negating it. He's not denigrating it. But once artificial intelligence takes the place of human beings, once it becomes transhumanism, once it involves in post-humanism, once it dehumanizes, he says it's no longer a tool. He says the fact of any technology is that man should be at the center, and the tool, which is artificial intelligence today, in terms of the new revolution that is engulfing us, needs to be addressed. He says it can be used for domination, for surveillance, for monopolies, and for manipulation. And for that, he's looking at the wars that are ravaging the world today, the way drones are being used, the way that human life is just now negated just because artificial intelligence is able to destroy anyone and anything, anywhere, at any time. He said we must disarm AI. Technology must serve humanity and never control it. In the 4th chapter, he says, he cautions on many things, and at the same time, he challenges us. He says we must have a conscience. And during this time, he speaks about the post-colonial, the colonial times. He says there's a neo-colonialism that is taking place. He has apologized for the slave trade, in which the church kind of legitimized slavery. And he says it was wrong. He speaks about the modern day slavery of human trafficking. He speaks about what's happening to the environment, what's happening to the care of our common home. For this, he says, and these are the challenges: education, critical thinking, and ethical communication are essential. And when he speaks about the slavery, he says the church asks for humility and repents for its past failures, including the sin of slavery. He says very strongly, the church must make an examination of conscience and see whether it is authentically responding to the signs of the times in the context of what the church mandates in terms of the church's social teaching, the church's social doctrine, in terms of Vatican II, and in terms of reading, understanding, and responding to the signs of the times. In his final chapter, he speaks about the culture of power versus the civilization of love. He says we have to take sides. It cannot be about power. We have to have a more participative model, that we walk together. That's what the whole process of synodality gave the church and gave the world. How do we walk towards the synodal pilgrimage of communion, participation, and mission? He says we need a civilization of love. And here he speaks about something very Augustinian, about the city of love, the civilization of love. He's saying we have to make a choice. The civilization of love, he very strongly says, is built on justice, fraternity, peace, dialogue, forgiveness, and solidarity. It cannot be about power. It cannot be about pride. It cannot be about profits. These are sinful, and all these three major sins are dehumanizing. And ultimately, he says we must also choose diplomacy, dialogue, and here he especially mentions interreligious dialogue, working together with other women and men of faith, and multilateral cooperation over war. He condemns war. He speaks about the industrial military complex. He speaks about what war is doing to the world today. He's sending a very powerful message, a very incisive message for those who try to control the world today, those who try to dominate us, to manipulate us, those who try to dehumanize us, to divide us, to demonize us, to denigrate us. Ultimately, he ends this very powerful encyclical with the scene of the Magnificat, that powerful prayer of Mary The Lord has done great things for me. Holy is his name. He has put down the powerful from their thrones and exalted the low of heart, the humble. He has filled the hungry with good things and sent away the rich away empty. This is a prayer of a revolutionary. Mary is a revolutionary. Mary is a rebel. And he ends with these powerful words in which he speaks about the grandeur of humanity. True human greatness is found not in power or control, but in love, freedom, grace, compassion, and care for the weak. Christ, who became human, shows us the way. Let us become builders of hope in this digital age, inspired by Mary's Magnificat, a song of hope, humility, and trust in God. Are we prepared to meet the challenge? Are we prepared to become revolutionaries in this age where the artificial intelligence revolution has engulfed us? Are we prepared to become more human, more alive in a world which is broken, brutalized, and battered? The answer, my friends, as Pope Leo XIV reminds us, is not blowing in the wind, but living in the hearts, minds, souls of every single human being today.